Man, joining y'all right after the All-Star game as we are prepared to discuss the ups and mostly downs of what we saw this past weekend in the NBA. Oh, B, how you doing, man?
I don't know. That was terrible. I'm doing good though.
Good.
Me personally, I'm doing good.
Okay, well, we'll start there.
Yeah. God, dude. Yeah, let's get into this, man. There's a lot to uncover right now.
Yeah, well, let's definitely go jump into that. Before we go any further, though, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Hit like the video; we appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, hit that notification bell too. That way, you know when you're dropping new content. And yeah, man, look, I mean, let's be honest. There isn't a whole lot to expect from the All-Star game. The NBA has been switching this thing up for the past 5 years, trying to find the right elixir to make it palatable for us to watch on television, and they keep failing. So we did the East-West thing. We did the pick'em teams thing with Durant and I think it was LeBron in one year. Now we're doing a 4-team tournament with the TNT crew basically picking the teams. And I gotta say, man, and we'll start with the game since that just ended. It still was kind of bunk. I felt like we did have a little bit of competition. I did like the idea of the rookies or rising stars playing against some of the more seasoned veteran or all-star players. I like that idea because it at least can hopefully help motivate them a little bit. The first game before that I think was trash. That first game. And then the final was all right. I really honestly didn't. I watched it up until like the last maybe 5 or so points. So ho hum, man, ho hum. Same thing. No defense. At least it wasn't 150 to 160. I guess I don't know.
I mean, at this point, I might as well have taken that because there's a little more offense. I mean, look, we can't win with this All-Star game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not getting any defense. At least hustle, like, you know what I'm saying? Like break some sort of a sweat here. And then this format absolutely took a dump on itself. Like, this was not entertaining one bit. And the fact that they found a way to drag this out for 3 hours.
Yeah, it took
just
way
about 3
too
hours.
long.
This was just way too long to begin with here. I don't even know where to start on what I hated about this All-Star game.
Let's start with the format for the game itself, and then we'll rewind back to the events of last night. For me, it was the 4 different games on one night. The fact that they split it up and that they kept dropping things in between those games. So we had a performance, right? We had the opening performance to bring everyone out. Then we had an additional performance in between games with sort of the Oakland, or Bay Area musicians, which was cool. Mm-hmm. Then we went into, although I don't know who the hell DJ Cassidy is. I'm sorry, I'm from the Bay Area. So are you, B. I'm not familiar with DJ Cassidy. Never heard of him. Not sure why he was there. Get him out of here. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but who the hell are you? You have nothing to do with the Bay Area. I've never heard of you. Maybe someone can educate us on who he is. Anyway, yeah. And then after that, we had this weird, Kevin Hart and TNT broadcast, thing going where we presented them with, they were presenting the guys from TNT with jerseys and rings and fishing gear. And it was very unnecessary. It was like they were grasping at straws, trying to create some type of entertainment. And I gotta be honest, it was unnecessary. I mean, I appreciate some of the jokes, but I just think that format really made everything drag on for quite a while, and the reason why we're starting to show it freaking 8:00 right now. So
yeah, I mean, this could have been done by 7:30.
Could have by 7.
It was exactly here. And look, there's all the things that come with it here. Obviously, it is TNT's last All-Star game.
Yeah.
For him, so I get all of that. All of that could have been done though after the game. Correct.
Yes, or before, however you want to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, though, yes, we need to make sure that these guys get their flowers. You know why? Because they deserve it. They're right. The game isn't the game without inside the sorry, I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, of course, the contract changing from
Woo.
TNT over to Amazon
ESPN.
and ESPN and whoever the hell else wants to dip their hands in the money cookie jar. They're, we're no longer going to have TNT. I believe, though, I believe the crew will still be on the new network whenever it crosses over, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Well, I mean, from the looks of it, it doesn't even look like that's gonna happen.
oh, okay,
I mean, look, they're giving everyone their flowers,
yeah,
so it'd be hard to see them on a different network. Like, it's difficult to imagine Chuck. Well, Chuck's retiring. Ernie, Shaq, Kenny. I couldn't really see him on another network. So I'm
great.
not
So now,
anticipating them
so
to
now
come
we're
back.
gonna you tell me I gotta watch Stephen A. Smith Howl at the Moon,
Damn
basically.
right, you gotta watch Stephen A.
Exactly.
Smith.
You got him
Yeah.
and Shannon Sharp and Molly Curran and that whole team. I don't know
Even
who.
Perkins sucks at that. But
Well,
all,
ESPN sucks in
all,
general, man.
all I'm saying, man, is this was not the way to go out on your last NBA All Star game. Like,
Yeah, man.
just think of what this game used to be to what it was now. We had guys like Magic Bird versus Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. Did I call him Magic Bird?
Magic Bird. Wow.
Don't clip
Who's the hell's
don't
Magic Bird?
don't clip that one either.
Magic Bird.
You had Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson in the All Star game. What were they? They were rivals. You had Kobe Bryant versus Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, the All Star game actually meant a little something. There was a little more competitiveness in there. You just don't see that anymore, man. And I think it's just because of the way the league's changing, where everybody's a little more friendlier with each other. There's no real rivalry, like, when it comes to this. Remember, Isaiah Thomas was in the All Star game, but he still had a little beef with some players there.
Yeah.
It made for great entertainment here, and this is just this is a staple of the product now, where these guys are just like, why at this point do we even need an All-Star game, T? Like,
Yeah.
what's
Well,
the point of this?
I think they should move on, and maybe this is something we can discuss to eliminate the All Star game itself and just keep it to the festivities. I think that would
Yeah.
make more sense. If you want to do something where I do like the idea of bringing rookies in and having them play against a set of all stars. I don't really mind that much. I think that's a great idea because it helps. I think that might help create some motivation.
Yep.
But what we saw was 4 different games, and I don't know if 4 different games or 3 different games. Excuse me. I think is not a really good concept for one night. Just watching sort of
No.
like this tournament, it just kind of felt like it was dragging on and on and on and on, and you just kind of lost interest because I mean, the only time I peaked up was whenever they had again the Rising Stars versus the one of the All Star teams, and that was it. So after
Yeah.
that, it was just kind of like these guys aren't really playing each other that hard. The international team or whoever they are, they got spanked pretty badly. Curry and them just turned up the heat and the game was over. So it's just I guess it's not really meant to be competitive at this point. So then you just get rid of the game and just do all the festivities on do 2 nights of festivities, Saturday and Sunday, and have the prime time be the dunk competition, the 3-point contest, and then like we talked about earlier, that WNBA NBA crossover, get that back in there and put that all on one card for one evening, and let's just do that because
Yeah.
I don't think we really need to keep watching this. Just like the NFL with the flag football game, it's not really. The NFL's already taken notice. They're like, we're not going to do an actual game. We're just going to do activities and a flag football game. We're done.
Yep. And that's not a bad idea. At least the flag football game is actually a little more entertaining. With that there, although again I still miss when Sean Taylor lit up the kicker at the Pro Bowl that one year.
That ain't right.
But I'm listening to the broadcast. Draymond actually brought up a really good point, right? So there's all these scoring records, obviously, like Curry with his 51, the 16 3-pointers in an All-Star game. We're never going to see that broken again because you know why? You can't do that in this format.
Yeah, of course, right.
It's just not going to work here. So what is the point of playing in this All-Star game? $125,000 for some of these players is almost just, it's nothing to them pretty much here. And do you really think the Rising Stars are going to compete with the legends of the game or even with the, kind of mid 6 to 7 year players? No, there's such a gap between these talents here that they're never gonna win that.
Yeah.
And that's why they have the Rising Stars game to showcase that talent. And that's why we had an all-star game so the best of the best can put on a show.
Yeah.
At the same time, the players brought this upon themselves, though. This is a product of what they wanted from the all-star game. So my thing is let me ask you this, T. What would you do to even spice up this All Star game?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't. They've already switched it up so many times. You know, I am kind of traditional in that I don't mind the West versus East thing.
Yep.
I don't mind it just being the traditional All Star game. If it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be bad either way. Like I don't think there's a way you can necessarily spice it up, unless we're gonna start doing King of the Hill types, King of the Mountain type stuff, and do one on ones. You know, between your best play, the stuff, something like that. Like if we,
I don't even think that would be
I
competitive.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what
I'm.
I'm saying. Yeah, so I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you could spice it up. So maybe the best thing is to go back to the original. Don't go back to the original East and West. We know it's not going to be much. Or like I said, take the radical approach of just eliminating the game itself and just doing additional festivity or activities or competitions like 3-point contest, the dunk contest, skills competition, and just jam that on Sunday and do the rookie and rising star and celebrity game on Saturday and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like that format. Let's go back to East versus West. Your starting five are from the fans vote, so we're going to see the same starting five over and over, which is fine. I mean, we saw that for years, but it was still competitive. I think you put 10 mil on the line, and it's 10 mil to the winning team.
All right.
That's a significant amount of money there, and it's only an 8-man roster too. So really shorten this up and really make it worth your time.
Yeah.
I mean, why? But my thing is why do we have to get money involved for something? This is for the fans. Like the NBA All-Star Game is literally what it's about, is celebrating the fans as a thank you halfway point. If we're gonna start getting this kind of stuff, do this stuff at the end of the year. Like there shouldn't be. The NFL doesn't do it during the regular season. They don't just stop halfway. Baseball does it, but there's God's sakes, there's 160 billion games a year. So this nice little break in between there is nice. But I would say you move the All-Star game to the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
You give them at least maybe one game in a week. Everyone plays one game in that week, right? So they get basically that All-Star week off, and then you just keep rolling right into it there. That's how you have to look at it at this point here. Let's celebrate the end of the season. Let's get the guys together. Hey, you guys had an amazing year. Let's reward the fans for getting through this here. This is not rewarding your fans. This is just showing this is how bad our product is right now in the All-Star game. Yeah. And it kind of reflects what the regular season is, which is a bunch of threes, transition threes, and terrible shot making. That's what this is.
Yeah, and I think most folks know by watching that they're not really trying. And let's be realistic. I mean, you just don't have that amount of, there's not enough behind this for players to risk injury or want to play super hard in these games. And to be quite honest with you, if you really ask folks who are fans of teams, they probably don't want that either. We don't want Steph Curry getting hurt. We don't want LeBron James getting hurt in an All-Star game. That'd be ridiculous.
Well, he didn't play tonight because
no, he didn't.
I guess did you know about a foot injury?
Okay, so you must not know how the LeBron James injury situation works. LeBron is always injured. LeBron is always listed on the injury report of every single game. Okay, so that if the opportunity presents itself where he can sit down or they're going to arrest him, they use that excuse. That's how it is for LeBron for the past almost 5 years. So he's always done that. So yes, he's been listed as day to day with a foot injury since forever now, for a while,
for the last 3 years,
close to it. Let's say about a month or two. So that's just gonna happen. He wasn't gonna play, and I don't blame him. I mean, what the hell is he gonna do? He's gonna go in there and throw lobs a couple of minutes and then sit down on the bench.
You had Ant Edwards hurt. You
Yeah.
had Giannis
Giannis.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
It's like now you're taking roster spots from guys who I think legitimately earned a spot to be on the All-Star team, and you're taking that away from them. One guy in particular, LaMelo Ball, is having a really, really good year, and he got snubbed from being an All-Star.
Well,
But then you
he's
have,
injured.
but okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
My bad.
LaMelo's injured, man. He's always injured. Yeah, he re-aggravated his ankle.
Who else got snubbed from
Trey,
this?
Trey Young got
Trae Young
put into.
finally got in.
He got in. I'm trying to think of who else got pushed in there. I can't think off the top of my head, but it's kind of hard to keep up with it again whenever there's 4 different teams. I'm not quite sure if who's doing what here, but I don't think that we're just not going to find a solution to the All-Star game itself that is going to make it like this ultra competitive game.
Ja Morant.
We don't have. Yeah, there you go.
Ja Morant should have been in this. If you guys haven't watched what Ja's been doing, dude's been balling out of his mind right now.
We just don't. We don't have those guys in there that are going to fight, that are going to get in there and play hard in this game. It's just not going to happen. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I think I don't know, man. I didn't like the format. I didn't like the format for today. I thought it dragged on a little too long. And the basketball we saw was what we thought it would be. It was going to be no defense, shooting, a lot of 3-point shots, and that's kind of ultimately what it came down to. So
yeah. And shame on not promoting it. I don't know if you felt it, but it just didn't feel like it was promoted like an All-Star game before it even happened here. Like I felt like there was no pizzazz around it getting ready to be in the Bay Area. Living here, it didn't have that vibe.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, a lot of that is because over the past 5 to 10, what is it, maybe even longer than that, we've had very lackluster performances. I mean, we haven't had a good slam dunk contest since Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. So that's been, I want to say, almost 10 years, almost. So that being in mind, I mean, the expectation of excitement from these games have just continued to plummet from that point. And so yeah, man, I think that's why you don't see as much advertisement behind it. And I think that's a good transition to the next issue, which is Saturday, yesterday. So
God damn.
So the games.
We want to start with the skills.
Well, yeah, we'll start with the skills competition where none other than former Warrior, sorry, I had to do that to you, former Warrior Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama decided to try to skirt the system and just started chucking balls in the air at the 3-point line so that they could get a quicker time. And it was stupid, one, because it's just a skill competition. You don't really win anything, I don't think. And the other thing is, I mean, Wembanyama, you're a rookie, bro. You just showed up. What the hell are you doing? Like, you
have no room to do this.
Everybody is touting you as the best prospect since LeBron James, and we all want to see you do everything, pass, shoot, all that, and you get to the 3-point line to start chucking balls into the crowd. It was really weird, and I realized what they were doing right away. The fact that dirty Chris Paul followed behind him and did the same thing only made me hate the situation worse.
That was even worse.
It was dumb, and the fact that they got disqualified. Good for you, NBA.
Yes.
Look at the NBA refs working on All-Star Weekend. How about that? You know what I mean? It wasn't good. It wasn't very entertaining. I thought Draymond and Moody they did their best. They made it to the final. But unfortunately, Draymond, well, he can't shoot, so he got kind of stuck there.
He could barely pass.
He got stuck on a pass and a shot, and that was kind of the end of it.
Now, I don't know if you heard, but I think it was either Victor Wembanyama or Chris Paul went and asked about the rule.
Yes.
Right? And I guess the rule is you just have to put a shot up.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, if you're gonna miss, just grabbing
make it look
the Papa Shot game, like we all play at the arcade, right?
Yeah,
just grab and throw. Don't sit there and just bat the balls in the air.
Yeah, Wembanyama didn't even turn to look at the basket. Like
his third shot hit the rim twice. At least the 2 shots he took, the first 2 were blatantly obvious, and the third one actually was. I guess you could call it the closest attempt those two knuckleheads had.
Man, yeah,
And then to get booed, and then the best reaction is Donovan Mitchell doing this on the sidelines when he's like this. But I mean, dude, that was just I've never seen anything like that. Like that's what we're gonna do right now.
It's bad enough that the All-Star game is falling to pieces. Then you got idiots going up doing this garbage. Like they're gonna well, first off, why are you cheating? It's not that serious. And two, like what are you gonna win? Like what do you get out of it? It's just it didn't make any sense to me. It's just entertainment. It's entertainment for everyone watching in the stands. And here we are with these two goofballs. Instead of trying to entertain us with their skills, they decided to try to cheat in a skill competition so that they can, I don't know, go back to San Antonio and lose more games. Like I don't really understand what it is.
The best part of it was the NBA official or representative was pissed off.
Oh, I bet.
With that there. Did you see how he was reacting?
I didn't see that, but I'm sure he was.
Like, you guys are disqualified. Like, and then he even pulled the rules out and pointed right at it. And I guess it's a rule. You can't just throw it up like that.
It has to be an attempt, a shooting attempt.
But the winners were Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell. Rightfully so. I think they were the best. You know, Draymond cost the Warriors a skills challenge. All the Warriors cost themselves a piece of hardware to this time around.
We'll get to Buddy in a minute, but yeah, Moody was on fire. You know, Moody was doing his thing. But then we gave over to Draymond, who had I felt like enough time to get something done, and the pressure got to Draymond, and he started throwing the ball. He couldn't make the pass. He missed on a couple of passes. Then he got to shooting, and then that's when it was pretty much all over at that point. He wasn't making those threes, and it all the time just kind of ran out. So, yeah, man.
But at least he tried, man. Like,
yeah, no, he did. He didn't try to chuck the ball in the stands like the Spurs guys did. Wembanyama and Chris Paul, idiotic.
Oh, my God. And then Victor Wembanyama wants to try in the All-Star game. You know what? You know what they should have done was demoted him to the Rising Stars. They said, you're going back and playing in there now. Right. After that,
you are a rookie. Yeah, put him in the rookie challenge. So that part was, competition. It was all right. Interesting to watch, I guess. I really think they should have it so that, or no, I guess they do have it where you have to make the one shot to move on. We definitely can't see people joking this route.
You don't have to make the shot. You just have to put up the attempt.
Oh, of the attempts. That's right. I think you should have to make it, honestly.
You know what they should have done in the skills challenge is if you do not pass that round, you have an extra 5 seconds added to you.
Yeah, right.
Like, you have to give it some sort of incentive here to be like, all right, cool. If you don't make it past that round with the 3 shots that you have available, you take a penalty. It's a 5-second penalty. Or they do that in the NFL when during their skills challenges.
Or you can do it the opposite. You could even say you gain an extra 5 seconds on your overall time for every 3-pointer that you make, something along those lines. Like, and that way the player has to make the choice. Do I? Well, you got to shoot all the balls any goddamn way. But if I make one, do I keep going and make more shots? To try to give my team a better score. I don't know. So. Just some thoughts, NBA. How we can improve the skill competition. But let's be honest, not that many people are paying that close attention to skill competition. Really what it came down to, except for B, apparently.
Well, no, I actually liked the skills challenge when it was the big men versus the...
Oh, the little guys. Yeah, I did like that. Jokic.
When we had that, when we had centers versus guards?
Yeah.
That was actually pretty fun there.
Yeah.
I say bring that back because you actually have legitimate centers like Jokic. I even throw Carl Anthony Towns into that. Who else? You have Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these centers who are becoming stretch fives. Why not have a big man versus little man challenge? Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun to watch again.
Yeah, throw them in there. No, I'm down, man. I enjoyed it when they did it before. So I mean, but again, the skills challenge, it's kind of here and there. Not the biggest event of the night, obviously.
What do we add to the skills challenge? Like something difficult that the players can do.
Man, I don't know.
Like,
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, they weave, they make passes, they shoot. I mean, there are only so many things you can do with a basketball and a hoop. I don't know. I think it's kind of good where it's at, honestly. Unless you want to set the rings, they throw the basketball hoops on fire or something like that. I don't know.
Have them dive through the rings.
Add more lights, maybe. I don't know. Something silly. But other than that, I don't know what you do with the skills competition. I don't
Well,
think it's.
remember how the dunk contest used to have a wheel, like an homage wheel, where they would spin it and you had to try to replicate that dunk. Like imagine guys trying to have to do the elbow pass like Jason Williams did,
Oh,
coming down the
okay.
pace. Little something like that.
Yeah, I
There.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. By the way, I'm
Yeah.
working on my camera right now. I
I was about to say, get down. Oh,
just took a dump. But I'm talking and I'm working at the same time. But I mean, you could do something like that. Um, Maybe have it to where I don't know, man. Maybe just let's just do an all-out 2-on-2 tournament and just be done with 2-on-2 tournament. Be done with it.
I mean, you might as well at this point.
Yeah, because it's kind of like what is the point? That takes us into the next event, which was
The event of the night.
the event of the night. Yeah, which is odd because it's sandwiched in the middle, right, between this and the contest. But the 3-point shooting contest, which was it actually was fairly entertaining. I thought, man, Buddy Hield had a pretty good that his first score was darn good. He came out guns blazing. Didn't
He came out 12-3, Buddy Hield.
Yes, he
That's
did.
how he came out. He came out 12-3, Buddy Hield.
He looked. I was like, man, dude is on fire. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the win. That went to none other than Tyler Hero, which is kind of like why, but he whatever. He got it.
Look, man,
he did it. So,
but Buddy Hield went from 31 points to barely breaking 20. Missed his first 5 shots from the corner. I'm like, dude, that's like it's either the corner or the top of the key or your easiest threes.
yeah.
And he blatantly, or he didn't blatantly, but he just chucked a bunch of bricks the first time around here. Made the money balls, right? But put himself in a position because then he started breaking again. I'm like, nah, everyone, that's the Buddy Hield we've been seeing after 12-3.
That's
like,
right.
This is what we've been getting since then here. And I'm like, he cost himself another trophy.
Yeah, he went from early season gold season.
Good God, man. Cameron Johnson? Oh, yeah.
Me right now. Malik Beasley is one of the top 3-point shooting, if not the top 3-point shooter in the league, percentage wise. At least I'm gonna look it up just to make sure. But he's definitely at the top. And so I was really surprised that he wasn't a part of the competition, because Norman Powell is another one who was in the competition. But yeah, I was surprised that he wasn't involved. So
What about Steph Curry versus Klay Thompson, part 2?
I mean, we could have done that, but unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards. I don't know why. It didn't happen this time.
I'm not mad at the 3-point contest because at least you have some of the game's best guards and shooting guards at least participating.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson again having a really solid year. Darius Garland right up there. Even Cade Cunningham having a breakout year right now. Norman Powell, one of the best shooters in the game right now. Damian Lillard, a superstar, wanting to come back for a third straight time to defend his title.
Yeah.
Like that means something to the fans there because he's not going to short us, especially this being in his backyard.
Right.
He made it a point to be a part of this here.
Right.
And that's what you need your superstars to do is to make it worth the time that we fans or the people who paid all that money to go to that Make it worth their while here. We want to see the best of the best shoot. Why wasn't Steph Curry doing this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these events lack star power, and so it's tough because, yeah, you do want to see Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the best 3-point shooter in the history of the NBA. So he should have as many 3-point contests, trophies as he can possibly get. But I guess after a while, you kind of get tired of it, and maybe that's what happened. I think the bigger miss is we had a great competition between the NBA and the WNBA last year with Sabrina Ionescu. I hope I'm saying her name right.
You did.
And Steph Curry. And we were hoping that we would get a repeat of that within the inclusion of Caitlin Clark. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So if they get that back on the docket to kind of if they could fill more space with stuff like that, I think that would be pretty cool. I thought it was a great event last year. It brought up some good competition. It's the old school battle of the sexes thing, so you get a little bit more eyes on it. I think they need to bring that back. They need to bring Caitlin Clark into the picture and make it happen. Make it happen. And get some more. That'll help get some more eyes on the television and help get the attention that the WNBA is needing. Because there were a lot of WNBA commercials during this All-Star Game. I mean, there was a ton of them, and you saw WNBA stars everywhere in the commercials during this broadcast. And I think that's great, but it would have been better if we could have seen, a reproduction of what we saw last year with that 3-point contest.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So anything else on the 3-point? Let's
talk about that piss poor dunk contest.
All right. It was not bad. It wasn't bad. Yes. So look, I'll be honest. When he won the first time, it was like default, right? It was so bad, this guy had to win. He won it again, and then he came back this year and did it again. Dude, my man is coming out there and pulling out all the stops. You can tell there's one man on the court that's hungry. All right, literally. Okay, and that's Matt McClung. He's hungry because when we talked about this, remember I texted you. Okay, Matt McClung is he's Mariah Carey. Okay, Mariah Carey makes one song a year that makes her a couple millions of dollars around Christmas time. Right, that one song. Matt McClung spends his entire year in the G League, making like maybe $80,000, maybe $70,000, maybe $80,000 a year, maybe, probably less than that.
He makes more money doing this dunk contest than he does in the G League.
Exactly, but he gets what does he make off this? Like $100,000, $125,000, whatever it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Off of this dunk contest, so he's getting his whole salary or doubling his salary, if not tripling it, just by being in and winning this event. So when I tell you he came out ready to put on a show, he came ready to put on a show, okay? And he brought the car out on the first dunk, okay?
He made Blake Griffin look bad with that because he jumped over the highest point of that vehicle.
Oh, yes, no. Hey, first off, I've never been so impressed by an attempt. His first attempt on that dunk, he jumped clear over the car, no problem, and just left the ball where it was, right? So that he could do it again. I was like, damn, wow, he just jumped over that whole car like that, going backwards. So he went up, did it again, got the dunk,
clipped the car on the way down.
Looked like he fell on his face, but he made it. And then every other dunker, other than him, okay, took like 5 attempts just to get off their first dunk. Seriously, like
terrible.
There was a higher shooting percentage in the 3-point competition than there was in the dunk contest. That's how bad this was. I mean, they were
standing underneath the rim.
Right. We're talking about 6'7", 6'8" guys, NBA players. They couldn't get their dunks off, and it almost made you wonder: did y'all even practice this stuff? Like, because I was getting annoyed. I'm like, can we go back to the 3 attempt rule? Because I mean,
with the 1 attempt rule, like that's enough after that. Jesus.
I mean, if you see the guy try to attempt the same dunk 5 times, it's like even if he makes it the sixth time, it's like okay, can we just move on to the next person because this ain't working.
It was just Matas Bozella is terrible. Andre Jackson Jr. did absolutely nothing to wow me.
No.
And even his dunk attempts, like the amount of times he tried, I was just like, all right, man, like, you know what? It's not going to be anything great because we've seen you fail 4 times. So at this point, we're hoping for something. But let's give Stephen Castle some flowers. That dunk in the finals.
Yeah, that was good.
The 180 left-handed falling away from the hoop behind your back and still dunking it. The difficulty that dunk had because he was going away from the basket.
Yeah.
And he didn't even use his dominant hand. That was impressive.
And that was the only dunk other than, what we saw from Mac McClung that deserved that. And, he was just out. He was so far ahead of everyone. I think it's the props. It was the props, the fact that he's a shorter player and can get up in the air.
Yep.
And then also the fact that he finished his dunks just about on the first attempt every time.
Yep.
Like he didn't go out there and play around. He went out there and, wind up, dunk, and then it was over. Not a whole lot of, we're watching a guy, try to attempt the same dunk over and over again. It's just embarrassing. It's got to be. You're in a crowd of over close to 20,000 people, and you're sitting there trying to dunk a ball 5 times while everybody's waiting on you to get it done. I didn't like the optics of that, but until they start getting some better comp in this thing, that's just what it's going to be.
Ja Morant, Zion Williams.
Oh, don't even give me.
I'm just listening. Yeah. LeBron James. I'm listening to a few names that would make that very, very interesting here.
Right.
If I'm an NBA player, I'm pissed that there's a G Leaguer who hasn't sniffed any professional basketball time coming in and smoking you guys in this dunk contest.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it gets a little... If I'm an NBA player, I'd be mad about that. Like, this is your stage. This isn't the G League stage. This is your time, and you're going to let a G Leaguer come up and just absolutely show out all over you guys.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed.
Not to mention that Mac McClung looks like a guy that makes money playing Fortnite. I mean, he doesn't even look like... he's a very, very unassuming NBA player. Like, he's not the guy you're going to point out in the crowd and go, man, that's a hooper right there. You're going to be like, what?
Who the hell's that?
Who is that guy? And so I got to give him props and credit for that. The guy keeps coming back and receiving checks. I can't be mad at him for this is his one time to shine. He'll get a 10-day after this, make another $100,000, and then he'll go back to the G League.
Yep. I mean, might as well have it, call it the G League dunk competition. Because they have their own all-star game, and if guys don't want to perform, bring those guys up because those guys are hungry. They are trying to make a name for themselves
and make some money.
League. Yep.
Yeah, man.
100%.
$125,000. That's a nice chunk of change for somebody that's in the that's somebody that's in the G League, not W. Well, I guess that's a good chunk of change for the WNBA too. So let's put it out there. If there are any WNBA players that want to join in on the dunk competition, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Lower the hoop a little bit. Yeah, right?
Give them an invite too. What the hell? Let's do it. Let's do it.
We need a really, really... like Adam Silver really needs to sit down and really try to get his star players to participate in this because you're just losing. Each year we're finding more and more things not to like about All-Star Weekend. And I hate that because this is one of the better All-Star weekends, and they find a way to just make it more and more terrible every year.
Yeah, I didn't mind the festivities on Saturday, but the game today and the format was a little wonky. So if they can fix that up and get that together, I think they'll we'll see what happens going in the future. They're always tinkering with crap.
What was your favorite Matt McClung dunk?
I think it was the last one. I think it was the catch the ball on the guy spinning in a circle. Well, was that the one?
That was the third one.
That was the third one.
Third dunk.
That was the third. That was the one where he grabbed one ball, dunked it, then grabbed the other one. But I like the one where he touched it off the front of the rim and then dunked it. I thought that was interesting. I don't know, but I think you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe it's the car one. The way he went through over that and the way he's like got both legs like straight out and
Yeah.
brings that thing all the way back. I don't know.
I would say the last dunk was probably my favorite.
Yeah, the two tap.
And here's the reason why. He is going forward. And like the laws of physics, when you touch something going forward, you generally come to a stop. And sometimes that stop isn't really that pleasant.
Yeah.
He literally tapped the rim and still found a way to make that dunk clean as hell.
Yeah.
Like that was probably a sick dunk to say. But the dunk of the night, though, I'm sorry, I still believe goes to the left-handed 180 reverse.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that was impressive.
It was because, well, one, he caught the ball off of a made layup.
Yeah,
he caught the ball off the made layup. Then after it went through the hoop, caught it and then brought it through the legs and back over. So I think you're right. I mean, like you said, Matt McClung used a lot of props, which is smart because that's going to help you, get the edge. Yep. But Castle's, that one dunk from Castle was pretty darn special, man.
That was sick,
special.
Man.
Remind me of a la Jason Richardson. That's what it reminded me of,
Oh, when Jason Richardson did the under the legs,
yep.
behind him, dunked the ball kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh, that was chef's kiss.
Yeah. Was that also? That wasn't in the Bay, though, was it? That one wasn't in the Bay. I'm trying to
No, that was actually in Los Angeles. That was in your hometown.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
The most famous one of all time is the one that was in the Bay. That was the
you know what? I was happy that they celebrated that, Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't get a chance to celebrate Vince. Because his last year was during the COVID year. So when the league shut down, no one was able to give him his flowers. So the fact that they gave him that was pretty sick. But good God, man, like everything about this weekend was so drawn out. I'm pretty sure I aged trying to watch this stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm kind of glad it's over, honestly, because I'm ready to get back to basketball. Obviously, both our teams have undergone facelifts and are completely different from what they were previously.
Now let's see who gets botched.
Right. So I'm curious as we go into this next week. Jimmy Butler with the Warriors. You guys got some quality wins. I think Jimmy is. It's going to take some time, but so far, just having a guy in single coverage that can create baskets for you, or at least draw enough attention, I think is going to do enough to make the Warriors better. On the Lakers side of things, you got Luka Doncic. It's going to take some time to figure out exactly how you're going to play with the rest of the players. Lakers definitely need some defenders on the floor with Luka, which I think is going to be an issue going forward. They have to find a way to get Luka on the floor, which might mean changing their starting lineup a bit. So let's take a look at the next couple of games for let's start with your team.
I think they get the Kings
with the Warriors, and let's take a look at what you guys got coming up.
I know they have the Kings coming up on Thursday.
I got you.
It's the Kings on Thursday, and then I believe it's Klay Thompson Day, or not Klay Thompson Day, Andre Iguodala retirement day on Sunday. So the Mavs come back to the Bay Area yet again here.
So you guys don't play again until the 23rd?
Yeah, Thursday, dude.
No, no, dude.
No,
the 23rd Sunday. Holy crap!
That's the Andre Iguodala. No, they play before that.
Hold on, let me get the schedule out. I'm on the Warriors website. Okay, so fix your site. Number one, okay. Your championship organization, get together.
Yeah, February 21st. They play Friday against the Kings.
So you got Friday against the Kings. That should be a win. Unless Zach LaVine decides to go for 50, or him and DeRozan go for 25.
We've seen players all of a sudden become utter gods when it comes to playing the Warriors. We've seen that often.
You got the Mavericks. That's going to be a pretty hot contested game. However, AD's out, but you guys just played them, and they showed that they're gonna play you guys as hard as they possibly can. Kyrie.
Okay, look, I'm gonna say this. I didn't want to bring this to the forefront, but the refs saved the Dallas Mavericks in that game. There, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. 8 missed layups in that game is one thing, but to miss a kickball, to call a charge with Kyrie Irving still moving into his defensive position. to take away the basket. We can go on and on, but I'm not going to here. Um, but what I'm excited to see is the way that this lineup it changes once Kuminga comes back, because Kuminga should be available on Friday.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is there's a lot of talks here in the Bay Area on no Trace Jackson Davis. And the reason being for that is Quentin Post gives the Warriors a legitimate stretch five that he can pull a defender from the lane because he's an actually pretty good three-point shooter for a man his size. So that's going to open up space for Jimmy Butler to work. That's going to open up space for Curry. You're going to see a lot of more ball movement, to say the least. My only thing is it too late, for this? The Warriors have to be perfect for the rest of the way to get out of this playing tournament.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's going to depend on how the other teams play as well. And look, I don't know. I mean, I really like what Post has done. I think he definitely gives you a lift, but he needs to be on the bench. He's a younger player. He's not a guy that is used to playing heavy minutes, so I don't see him as being a starter. And you guys need rebounding. And so I think you don't want to give up on being able to rebound the ball. I don't know if Post helps you if he's going to be out there in the 3-point line in that scenario. And to be honest with you, now that you have Jimmy Butler, maybe you don't need as many shooters. You finally got a guy who can put up points for you. You just need guys in there that can just do their job. Get in there, get some rebounds, move without the ball, run Steve Kerr's offense, and go from there, man. I think
here's the best part to all of this. The Warriors win these two games, they're in the 8th seed. Like that's how quick this can change for them.
Yeah.
Win the first two. The Kings are above you at sitting in the 9th seed at 28 and 27. So you win that, you move into the 9th seed, and then you play the Mavericks. Like you play the 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And it's a game separating you guys. So you better come out and win these two to get into the 8th spot.
Yeah, these two games are going to be extremely important. The Dallas Mavericks, again, they're not going to have Anthony Davis coming back anytime soon. I think Sacramento is going to be a tough bout just because, they've got two guys on their team that can score. They don't play a ton of defense though, but they could definitely put up some numbers. So that might be a team to look out, especially when you're playing in Sacramento. These other games, the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I'm not going to even pay attention to that, but when you go, you guys got a pretty lengthy road trip, or not lengthy. I think it's like 4 games here. Orlando, Philly, Charlotte, New York, and Brooklyn. Of those games, Orlando, Philly, and New York are the games you got to look out for. So I think the Warriors do have a good chance to get on a run. But like you said, B, it's gonna really depend on how well the rest of the league above them plays. If they need some help from teams like the Rockets, they need some help from teams like the Clippers. They need those teams to lose.
Your team?
They need the Lakers to lose. Yeah, they need some teams to kind of drop down so that they can overlap them in that top tier. You also need teams like the Timberwolves. You need those teams to shore it up and to fall. And that's not going to be easy, man. I don't know if you guys can do it, but if you can go on a run, the best I see for the Golden State Warriors is if you guys can get into that 7th seed, I think that's the goal for this season. If they do better than that, great.
Well, they have the 3rd easiest schedule after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Because that first half schedule was heavy loaded, man. Like they got the Celtics out of the way. Both those games I think are done.
Yeah, but
now.
You guys started on fire though.
Well, come on. Yeah, but you see how the rest of it started.
Yeah,
finished,
you fizzled
when
out.
The rest of the league got caught up with their slow start.
Yeah.
So
true enough.
I mean, they managed that. They're still, again, they're 2 games away from being in the 8th spot, and that's just the first 2 games of the break there. So yeah. I think if the Warriors can come out their first 7 games, go 5-2, maybe even 6-1. They're right in the thick of it of being, a 5-6 seed. Because that's what separates the 5 seed from the 10 seed is all but about 3-4 games. Do you need help? Absolutely, you're going to need a lot of help. But
well, B, it's a little bit more than that because you're starting to see some separation. So
yeah,
let's say we're talking about the Houston Rockets. They've got 21 losses. You guys have 27. So I think the goal is just to get as close as you can to that 7th seed because once you get to the Clippers and above, the gap starts to widen, unless those teams start to just fall off and go to crap. But that's what I'm saying. I think the Warriors, obviously they need to win games. If they can continue to get in, if they can get into that 7th seed by the end of the season, I think that's a huge win for them. And like you said, you get Kuminga back, you'll have somebody who can come in and provide some defense and play that off guard position to play off of the attention that Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry are going to receive. Maybe you can get back to running that Steve Kerr style offense and really trusting those guys in those positions and really start opening up the floor to play Warriors basketball.
Absolutely.
We'll see how it pans out, man.
Well, let's talk about your Lakers schedule coming out here. I'll feed you your games here.
Yeah.
I mean, Hornets on Wednesday. Then you go up to Portland, but then again, Portland isn't their bad team, but they're sneaky when they want to be sneaky. You get your favorite team in the Denver Nuggets, and then the Mavs, the Wolves. You see the Clippers twice on a back. Basically, you play them twice at home on Friday and Sunday of the following week. Then you get the Pelicans. Looking at this schedule,
some bad teams. Yeah.
Some bad teams, but there's also some really good teams.
Yeah, well, the Lakers have. The Lakers have one of the more difficult schedules. So we're gonna be in a position where we basically gotta beat the teams we should. So like Charlotte, Portland, who else is in here?
The Pelicans.
All the other teams are pretty damn good. I mean, if you look at, you're going to play Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, and the Clippers twice. So this is a double-edged sword, right? This is a difficult schedule, but you're going to be at home during most of the stretch outside the Denver game. And if you can beat the Clippers twice and you can beat Denver, then that's going to put us further up in the standings, especially beating the Clippers because they're the team right below us. So I think the Lakers do have an opportunity. Now, with that being said, this is a new team. You're not playing the same way you did before the All-Star break. You don't have Anthony Davis. You picked up Luka Doncic, a huge acquisition. You still don't have a center, really, although Jackson Hayes has been playing very well, in my opinion. I don't know if he's a 30-minute-a-night guy, but he's been playing pretty well. Alex Len is he's dumpster fire. He's just literally a walking 6 fouls. He doesn't do anything for you. And I think that the Lakers need to lean into the defensive strategy they had going into this. And that's where you're going to run into an issue. Because if you come out, the starting 5 that you're looking at now is, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. There are no defenders on that starting 5. You got guys that can play defense, but not necessarily that's what they're going to be doing. And they're going to have to really look hard and make some changes. In my opinion, I think that, having those 3 ball handlers on the floor at the same time, it might be great offensively, but it might not be so good on the other end. And they might need to either have Reeves or on a shorter rotation, or they're going to have to start looking at the center position and rotating that out and playing Vanderbilt on a quicker rotation, have him take some of the center duties while Hayes is out. Look, I watched that game against Utah that they lost, and Alex Len is garbage, bro. He is trash.
You guys didn't even look like you wanted to be a part of that game.
We didn't. We didn't, but you would think if you're a new player on the roster, it at least gives you an opportunity to showcase yourself, right? Bronny James went out there and was like, cool. He put up 12 points in 8 minutes. But Alex Len looked like a dumpster fire. He went up for a dunk and got rejected. Like he just looked very slow. It wasn't good. So I think the Lakers have to consider going small for a good portion of the rest of the season. I don't think that there is no center walking through that door that's going to fit the mold of what they want to do with Luka Doncic. So in my opinion, they're going to have to play small. Vanderbilt's going to get more minutes at the center position. You want Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent are going to get a lot of action because those are your best defenders and they can play at 3 different levels.
Gabe Vincent's coming on strong before the All-Star break. He started balling out. Yeah,
he did, and he's a good defender. So I love having those guys on the floor. And at some point, so I think the Lakers going forward, the defensive presence was there. If they could continue that and also include Luka Doncic into it.
Yeah.
Not really asking Luka to guard 1-on-1 necessarily, but put him in a situation where he has a very simple job in to come up and at least just keep guys in front of him is really all you're looking for. Then they can help each other or help shadow him so that he's not getting guys running around him to the hoop. So I think if they could do that, stick with the defensive minded, play that they've had, I think they can maintain where they are. Now, will they be able to climb? That I don't know. You got some teams ahead of you that are pretty damn good. The Denver Nuggets came on pretty strong going down the stretch into the break. Oklahoma City's not going anywhere. The one team I could see falling is the Grizz. The Grizzlies are the only team I could see that might have some fall off. But I think if the Lakers can maintain 5, I'm going to be happy with that. So we'll see what they do, man. Don't Connect comes back. Trade didn't go through. I actually kind of like that. I think.
Hey, welcome back. Sorry.
Yeah, welcome back. Sorry about that. Christian Koloko, who's a 7-footer that's mainly in the G League, is on two-way. I would rather him play than Alex Len because he at least offers him some athleticism and can catch an alley-oop. So we'll see what the Lakers decide to do. Unfortunately, Maxi Kleber, who they traded for, is probably out for the remainder of the season with a broken foot. So I don't think that you're not going to get a chance to see him play. But I like where the Lakers are trending, man. I think they play really well going into the All-Star break. So I like what I see.
Yeah, but the Lakers are one of those teams that also can separate themselves. Should they get out of the gates hot after the All-Star break here? All that's really going to render is on that fake injury that LeBron has, or is it real? Who knows?
Yeah, like I told you, man, he's had that same injury for 2 months now. It's
2
called
months, 3 years.
Yeah, day to day. It's a DTD. Day to day.
DDT. What? Are we bringing wrestling back?
That's right. Maybe that's what we should add to the All-Star game.
What, WWE?
Oh yeah, get some wrestling going in there. You know what I mean?
Chuck versus Shaq.
That'd be good. Just put a ring right in the middle of the court. Chuck versus Shaq in an old school wrestling match with the bouncy mat and everything, and just have them go at it.
Oh, we could call it rivalry night. WWE style.
Yeah, we have Kenny come in with his bow-legged knees and
I'm gonna
slide into the ring.
The thing I'm gonna miss about this show is when Kenny the Jet just runs and it's like this. It's like I'm like,
I'm surprised his pants don't catch on fire. I don't know how Kenny can even run with his knees doing that. Like, that's not right. You know what I mean?
It hurts me watching that.
It does, right? And you watching him like, bro, yo stuff ain't right, bro. Your knees is not supposed to do that.
His legs looking like protractors here when he's running.
Look like something out of a Japanese horror film. But yeah, man, it's just
Forrest Gump when his legs came when his things broke off of his legs.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna miss Shaq big ass falling all over the place all the time.
Dude,
he's too big to be doing that. But
I'm gonna miss these guys in general, man. So I'm just for all you basketball fans, just really, we have all these networks here. Just give TNT all your attention, because what you're going to miss, you're gonna deeply regret not paying attention to. So just give these last few months here. I think they should give TNT the NBA Finals this year as well.
They should.
I think you still put the game on ABC, but you let them absolutely run amok of it, because they're not going to be back. So just let them have it.
Why not? Yeah, I think they should definitely do that. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Man. And one thing I forgot to mention. Kudos to or shout out to Hubie Brown, who broadcast for his last game. He's in his 90s, I believe, at this point, and decided to hang him up after years and years of not only being a coach, mentor, player, broadcaster. He's done it all. And he was a joy to listen to. He was one of the guys that had the knowledge for real. He's one of my favorites. He's right up there with your guy, who is still, and and this is coming from a Laker fan. My favorite local broadcaster on the public broadcast is Barnett.
Yep.
Absolutely the best. There's nobody better the Jim Barnett. I mean, he was very open about when the Warriors were playing well, when they were playing bad. And I know I'm getting off topic here, but there's some, because I've got NBA League Pass. I've heard them all, okay? Some of them suck, okay? They're bad. I mean, the who is it? The Brooklyn Nets, trash.
Oh, they're terrible.
Cleveland, garbage. The Clippers.
The Warriors, garbage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Kalena Azubuike, you suck at what you do. Someone take him
What do you mean he always did? He wasn't even that great of a basketball player.
Yeah.
How did he even get the job?
He spent most of his time on the bench. Good God, man.
The Warriors could do better than that. Come on.
They could. They could have just left it with Jim Barnett, man.
Or you could have went out and you could have got your boy Matt Barnes, okay? Who was doing play-by-play for the Clippers, right? Wasn't it the Clippers? He was doing it for the Clippers. So I mean, there are guys out there. Go get somebody. Go get somebody controversial. You know what I mean?
Go get Chuck. Bring Chuck to the Bay Area. Let him do all of our games. No.
So you can talk about people's mamas. I'm ready.
Exactly. Oh, that was a bad shot. Guess what? Too, your mama. Like how funny would that be?
There you go.
But like you mentioned, Huey was one of those guys who was old school with it.
Yeah.
He also brought a knowledge to the game that not a lot of people would have probably gotten with, guys of like JJ Redick. And I'm not trying to say JJ Redick wasn't a bad color analysis.
Yeah.
But guys like Huey and Jim Barnett, those are old heads that still know the game and can still dissect it, even with the game changing here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you need to off balance a play-by-play announcer, because some of them can be really bad, but what makes people stay to watch or listen is the guy who's going to dissect the game. And that's what you got with Hubie Brown. That he was top-notch, one of the best. One of my favorite calls from him is when Baron Davis dunked on Kirilenko in the We Believe series.
Man,
and Mike Tirico's losing his mind, and you hear the crowd and Hubie Brown goes, "Hello."
Right. Just simple. Yep. Old school. Yeah. No. So, hopefully Hubie enjoys the rest of his time. Living the retired life.
Yep.
So it makes us. I mean, he's obviously really old, but whenever we start to see people leave, it also makes me feel kind of old too. So it's like, geez, man.
I know,
everybody's
man.
disappearing. What's happening?
Because you watch basketball games for so long, right? Like Huey Brown's one of those. Just wait till Mike Green leaves.
Yeah, right. Well, remember when what you call me? What was his name? Why am I losing his name? What was his name?
Who are we talking about?
The broadcaster used to do all the main NBA and NBC games. Also did the finals.
I know. Not.
Remember Allen Houston? You know what I mean?
Marv Albert.
Marv Albert. There you go. Marv Albert. Yeah. Okay, you got it. You're right. You're right. Used to love Marv Albert. I mean, one of the guys it just makes it really exciting to watch the games and is ready to just pop their top at any point in time. But they're not doing it. But they're not doing it every possession. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's something different, and that's what keeps you engaged with it. That's why if the Warriors are broadcasted on national television and also on our local networks, Bob Fitzgerald and Kalena, you don't get my business. I can't. Hey. If I hear another 30, 430, I'm like, dude, you said that like the last 13 years of his career, man. Like, come up with something different, please. Yeah, you guys' radio guy used to be bomb too, though.
Tim Roy's the best.
He used to be legit too, man.
Him and Tom Tolbert now do the play-by-play on the radio.
Oh, Tom Tolbert is still around?
Dude, Tom Tolbert is legit, dude.
Tom has always been that guy. Okay, I will never forget when they led his ass on national broadcasted games, and they paired him with Bill Walton. I mean, you couldn't have asked for must-see TV. Those guys who probably they don't even like each other, and are in the booth just annoying the crap out of one another. It was awesome with their little snide remarks about every facet of the game. Oh man, good times.
Absolutely, man. You got anything else? It's
No, man, I think that's it.
Oh, Justin Tucker, keep your hands to yourself, man.
Yeah,
Seven more women
we
came
talked
out.
about that.
Jeez
Well, you
Louise.
know,
No, did you hear more
it's an
came out?
epidemic. It's an epidemic, guys.
Yep.
Let's protect the massage therapists here. We got to start a movement here because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Seriously.
It's terrible.
Seriously. Yeah, man, I think that's all we got. We're gonna be full throttle NBA, obviously. Hopefully, we'll get some stories out of the NFL as well as we continue through the remainder of the NBA season. Yeah, man, and I think that's kind of all we got. And always, be on the lookout for more content from us. Again, we post content from our long form show, which is this one, our live, and post it on YouTube so you guys can get some of what we're talking about in smaller doses. So be on the lookout for that. And again, don't forget to subscribe. It only takes less than a second of your time.
Yep.
Go ahead and hit that button. We appreciate it. Check out some of our other videos, and we will see y'all next weekend or next Sunday. Next Sunday at 6:30 Pacific.
6:30.
We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Like.